If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As I've done over the last few years, 6 years or so, I've covered the Satanists, the Satanic Temple, trying to get their after-school Satan program into schools. I try to reiterate, and it seems like sometimes people don't listen, which I guess, in today's world, who knows anymore why nobody listens, but I try to reiterate the fact that this isn't about getting satanic doctrine in schools as much as it is about getting rid of Christianity on the face of the earth. That's what they want to do, is rid it. So by constantly going to schools, because that's the only thing they target, are schools that have after-school Christian programs, they know that they're going to get a choice. They're going to say, well, you got to let us in or we're going to sue you. Well, sometimes these school boards are so stupid that they actually let the Satanists sue them because they call their bluff. If they actually studied and paid attention to these people, they have lawyers on retainer, they are funded by our federal government, and they will sue on the spot. And what ends up happening is that the court will decide, well, you can either let them in because of freedom of religion, or you have to get rid of the after-school Christian program. They want the other result. They want Christian programs removed. If they say, hey, all right, we'll have the Satan program and the Christian program, then they'll show up and they'll hang out for as long as they can. What will they do? Well, they'll pretend like they're not indoctrinating people with Satanism. They'll play games like Dungeons and Dragons. They'll push satanic ideologies like tolerance, acceptance of all wicked things, which is what they do, and then they deceive people into thinking, well, they're not bad people. You were talking like as if they were going to be doing rituals and eating animals after school. Huh? Yeah, like they would actually do that after school and expect people not to uprise against them. No, what they do is they teach the doctrines of Satanism. Do without will shall be the whole of the law under love. So they pretend to be loving and caring and care about women's rights. They care about all the satanic doctrines. Okay, and they put them in a bow around it so these imbeciles out there think that, oh, they're really nice people. They don't really worship Satan. They only use all the satanic crap like the Baphomet and the pentagram. Oh, yeah, no, the stuff is just unbelievable. But now they're trying to get into the schools in the Carolinas, and of course, people down there aren't happy about it. But if they only understood what they're trying to do, maybe, just maybe, they'd be able to fight back against it.
People might be shocked and outraged by the name.
An after-school Satan club, and it has a lot of parents in the Piedmont upset. The group is encouraging students at one school to join.
Now, the organizers say it's not about worshiping Satan. They say a 2001 Supreme Court decision makes it a matter of free speech. Fox 8's Aaliyah Sims joins us live at Joyner Elementary, where the club was slated to start on Friday. So, Aaliyah, why that school?
Yeah, Michael. Now, the club targeted here after the Christian Good News Club was offered here at the school pre-COVID. Now, a parent or someone in the district reached out to the founders of the Satanic Temple to start the after-school Satan Club to counterbalance it. Now, the founders tell me that while their name might bring outrage, the club actually has no sort of religion teaching throughout the club. And they say they have more right to be here than any other group as well.
It's a flyer decorated with a cartoon devil with an eye-catching statement. Hey kids, let's have fun at After School Satan Club.
A lot of people have said, is this a hoax? Is this for real? How can the Satan Club even be realistic?
The state of Pennsylvania recently rejected the club in its schools. While Satan clubs have popped up in other states like Illinois and Ohio, it's the first time the idea has found its way to North Carolina, bringing controversy with it.
Controversy over whether a school district should allow an after-school Satan club is entirely misguided and something they need to take up with the Supreme Court.
But despite what the name might imply, Lucian Greaves, co-founder of the Satanic Temple, says the club is not actually about promoting worship of the devil.
Don't contain any items of religious opinion one way or the other. We're not trying to endorse Satanism, and we're not trying to criticize other religious organizations. Our after-school Club focuses on critical thinking, scientific rationalism.
He says the club is an alternative to the Christian Good News Club, and the Satan Club does have supporters here.
We never put in a request to start a club where we don't have the volunteers or support to actually put one in place. And I think all of the clubs we put into place now came from a parent request within the school district.
I feel like kind of it's a battle and God's putting his little army in place.
That's why Tempe Moore hopes to see Christians Friday at 2 p.m. She's planning a prayer rally, the same day and time the Satan Club is expected to have its first session.
We just want to send a message that the Christian community in Greensboro is not wanting to allow this in our schools.
Now, the founder of the Satan Clubs tell me that there are 4 clubs in different states averaging about 4 students in each. Now, we also made more than a dozen attempts via phone as well as email to reach out to a spokesperson with Guilford County Schools, and we were actually promised a statement before news time, and as of 5:04, we still have not received that statement.
So, like I said, this is what their overall plan is to remove Christianity off the face of the earth. And they're using the law to their advantage. The government, our own government, funds the Satanic Temple. Okay, they had expedited rights to be tax exempt by the Obama administration years ago, which I covered. And ever since then, all they do is they show up at 3 places. They show up anywhere that there's a Christian statue, monument, or, somewhere, a school that is, has an after-school Christian program. They show up at local places and local townships, government buildings that might have the 10 Commandments. They show up and they bring their Baphomet statue and they say, we're going to put this here. And they go, no, you're not. And they say, well, freedom of religion says we can. If you have that, if you're only, catering towards Christianity, then we're going to put this hideous goat with breasts and a penis out in the middle of the field here or in front of your building. And then the politicians go, oh my goodness, okay, I guess we better get rid of the 10 Commandments because we don't want that ugly Baphomet outside because people are going to come and throw eggs at it. So they get rid of the 10 Commandments, and the Satanists get what they ultimately want, which is Christianity being removed. And eventually, as we know, the Bible tells us in prophecy, the Christians will be persecuted. Christians are going to face bans. Bibles are going to be banned. All of this stuff is coming, and we're seeing it in full force now. They go out into the media and they talk about, well, it's only fair. Why do we have to have Christianity here? Why do we have to have crosses in cemeteries? Why can't we have Baphomets? Why can't we have Buddha? Why can't we have Kali and Shiva? And they go on and on and on, and people go, yeah, they make a point. Why is it catered towards just Christians? In reality, everything that we see is mocking of Christians. It's the only religion they mock. They only mock Jesus Christ, and they do it over and over and over again, and they get away with it. They don't mock anything else other than Christianity, and they want to make Jesus look like this, goofy figure, not the Son of Man, that he is the King of Kings. That's why you see celebrities always doing, skits with Jesus, like, Sarah Silverman, et cetera, that I've covered over the years. So you heard some of the people in the video clip, and obviously it's like, you hear them and they're like, I can't believe this exists. I'm just like, what rock are these people living under that they don't know that Satanists exist? And I guess maybe I'm saying that because, I don't know, maybe I should be a little bit more lenient with people, but I mean, the Bible tells us this. We know the enemy is here. He's everywhere. This is spiritual warfare. So people need to wake up and see it, but they also need to wake up and realize what the goal is of the Satanic Temple. So like I was saying earlier about them trying to get Christianity removed from all grounds here in this country, the other things that the Satanic Temple fight for, there's only 2 others. They show up anywhere that there's anti-abort. They show up there because they're all about Planned Parenthood. They pretend it has to do with women's rights, that they care so much about women. It has nothing to do with that. That is the quintessential, most important thing in Satanism is the child. Okay? And that's why they love the abort. Then, of course, you have what? Them showing up at certain meetings in certain states where people come forward and they get together to talk about ritual abuse. This is a group of people who have been abused as children. These monsters have the audacity to show up there and claim that these people are making up that they're liars. Why? Because, well, they claim that it's satanic ritual abuse, and they say, no, that's not something that exists. They care so much about that for some reason. I wonder why. Because everybody who studies the occult and knows what they're all about knows that satanic ritual abuse and trauma-based mind control are things that the occult do to young children. That's how they get away with this stuff. These kids put up walls. They go through such unbelievable trauma. It's heartbreaking to even talk about or read about. But those of us who have read about it and heard stories from others, it keeps you up at night. It's just absolutely sickening. And these monsters who claim that they're not Satanists, they go out of their way to mock these people who have been abused. So the Carolinas are now, you add it to the list of these, states you would consider Christian-like states. And parents in North Carolina, they're gathering outside the school to host a prayer rally in response to the after-school Satan Club that has attempted to establish a presence at schools in the area. The parents gathered near Joyner Elementary School in Greensboro, North Carolina, to protest the establishment of a satanic club for students. The organizer of the rally, Temp Moore, said that the rally was intended to send a message. Look, the Satanists don't care. The message they're trying to send is to get Christianity out of the schools. And look, we all know that Christianity is not really in the schools, but some of these schools have after-school programs that they are on the grounds of the school, almost like a CCD or something like that. Something at the church that would be held. And they don't want it to be on school grounds because they don't want kids to find out about God. The school is supposed to be completely void of God and Christianity, and it's pretty much an institution to indoctrinate people with lies. So if these parents who are out there saying prayers, what they should do is also focus on the fact that everything being taught in the schools are nothing but lies that keep people trapped inside of a matrix for the most part. They learn about fake history, they learn about things that mean nothing, and they get it beaten into their heads to the point where they leave school, they believe that the world is one way when in reality it's the other. Everything's inverted. So let's get back to the story here. These parents who are out there rallying, the group of people are opposed to the establishment of an after-school Satan Club or any school in the district having it. Flyers advertising the Satanic Club were distributed last week. Moore said they cannot be silent while the club attempts to make its way into the area. And I'm sure what they do, the Satanists do, they probably call every single school in the country because they look for schools. Because, let's be realistic. Does anybody actually know a public school that has an after-school Christian program? It's probably pretty limited. I have never heard of this going on, at least in the last 20 years or so. Now, again, I'm not going around looking for it because I'm not a creep, but, I've not heard of this really for the most part until this started happening with the Satanic Club, and I started saying, okay, well, what is the end game here? What is the point of this? Because the point isn't just to, people are like, well, the point is they want to recruit people into Satanism. Well, they don't need to do that because that's what everything on television does is recruit people into Satanism. All these shows are gateways. All they show is magic, 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 so they're already doing that. They want to get Christianity out, like I've said a million times over, but they probably sit there all day just calling schools and asking if they have an after-school Christian program. And when they find one that says yes, they sick them. They go, all right, who's the closest chapter in North Carolina? Okay, go over there, hand out flyers, spook them out, and then go to the board meeting and tell them that, you want to go in there. There's just a protocol that they follow. And they go there, and then they say, we want in because you have a Christian program. And then they go, well, we'll review this. The parents get outraged, which is what they want. And then the school board goes, no, we can't let you in. And then they go, okay, we're going to sue you. And they sue them. And then they come up with a conclusion, which is, okay, well, if you're going to have the Christian program, you have to either allow them in or you have to get rid of both. And they end up saying, okay, we'll get rid of both. That's how it works. That's how the Satanists are getting rid of Christianity around the country. It is a scheme. It is a CIA operation, in my belief. I believe the CIA is behind the Satanic Temple. Either way, it's on record that it's a government-funded program. None of these people have jobs. None of these people do anything. They just sit there and troll Christians and go places where Christianity is and try to get it removed. That's all that they do. Period. Plain and simple. So don't be surprised if you find this in your town. Now, you might say, well, Cole, what does it matter? If that's what they're trying to do versus me going there and being angry. I'm just saying don't put all your energy into it and be emotionally drained from it. Because you got to realize that Satanism is everywhere. If you're going to get just mad at them showing up at a school trying to get in there, you should be just as mad as, Disney playing all these programs about magic and Satan and Harry Potter, because it's the same crap. Satanists try to indoctrinate kids using these things like Dungeons and Dragons, like Harry Potter, all of that stuff. That's how they indoctrinate them. So they're not going to go into a school and, dump blood into a cup and say, drink it. Otherwise, parents will be breaking down the doors at the school. They don't want people to think that that's actually what Satanism is. So they give this illusion that it's this group and they love everyone and they're tolerant and they're such nice people and Christians are hateful because everything's inverted. That's how Satanists operate. Reminder, check out the website at callforuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. I hope to see everybody over there. I want to thank you guys for being here on YouTube and thank the Patreons especially. If you're not a Patreon, please consider becoming one. It really does help the channel out. If you can, it'd be greatly appreciated. And I want to remind everyone, please sub to my other channel, Another Strike, and I will not be able to upload here for 2 weeks or potentially ever again. So if you like the content and you want to hear me talk or see the content that I'm covering, make sure you sub to my other channel. It is linked below in the description section, and it is pinned in the comment section. Thanks again, everybody, for your support. God bless all of you and your families.